Last you saw us, we were in Germany, but we couldn't stay for long, so we packed up our bags and hopped on another train towards Paris. We splurged on a first class ticket this time.
Wow, how'd you get into recline?
Mine's a little slow. They need to lube them up a little bit.
Are you kidding me?
And after a morning of travel, we arrived to our next hotel. This hotel had a theme going. It was very fairy tale and kid orientated because we are going to Disneyland Paris. Now, I wouldn't really call any of us like Disney adults, but if I'm in the area and the opportunity comes up, I'm gonna go to Disney every time.
Again, do it again. It's hard to do it. Yes. Yeah.
And there's actually quite a few versions of the original Disney in California. There's Florida, obviously, Tokyo, Shanghai, Hong Kong. I don't know, I'm not a Disney adult. And apparently they're like all the same, but they're also a little different. For example, Disneyland Paris had a lot more of like English garden-y type landscaping, and it had this giant labyrinth.
It's so cute over there.
The castle is different than in the States too, so you can actually go inside of it, and there's a dragon in the dungeon that you can see. But there was also all of the classic Disney stuff like the teacups. And my personal favorite, It's a Small World. And this small world was far superior to both California and Florida, in my opinion. And all of the shows that we went to were in a mixture of French and English, like every other line, so we could still kind of understand what was going on. We spent 2 days at Disneyland Paris, and the first day it absolutely downpoured.
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
And we had to buy those trash bag thingies that are so expensive, but such a lifesaver. And overall, it was just a really fun time to go to Disney and be silly for a couple days. Today, we are leaving our hotel that we've been at for a couple days, and we are headed to Paris. Right now, the Summer Olympics are going on, so we're expecting it to be fully crazy down there, and we have 2 big things we need to cross off the list because me and my sister have never been: the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower.
Bye, bunk bed.
And just like that, we packed up our stuff again. We found ourselves in the Paris Underground, Red Bull in hand, trying to figure out the frickin' subway.
We got receipts up to wazoo. Yeah. The most important meal of the day, serving it up Gary's way. Red Bull.
And like I said, we had 2 main tasks that we wanted to accomplish: the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower. And we had to accomplish them in just 1 day because the next day was the opening ceremony and everything was going to be closed. And things were already crazy the day that we even went. Up first was the Louvre, and we had a specific reservation time, so we kind of just like stumbled our way across the city, kind of fell into a few churches.
Look at that flying buttress. Oh.
I bought a beret. I don't know why, but I did.
Say the beret.
Yeah, okay. And we eventually wound up at the Louvre.
Gosh, that's stunning. Oh yeah. Or pinch it. Two of them? Oh yeah.
The Louvre is incredible for so many things, but one of those things is the Mona Lisa.
Sharp bars. Look at that door.
She is plastered everywhere in Paris. Her eyes are staring at you in every single gift shop. So we had to go, obviously. I was fully prepared not to be impressed because it's just a painting and I genuinely don't get it. So I spent a lot of time actually researching the Mona Lisa so that I could get excited about it. And I highly recommend doing this because learning the story, understanding her expression, she was stolen, like that is really what makes this painting so iconic. So when I got there, it was totally worth it to go see. I will say that the mosh pit in front of the Mona Lisa is not for everyone. It definitely brought out some ugliness in some people and made it kind of hard to get lost in the painting. And of course, the irony of the largest paintings I've ever seen hanging all around the Mona Lisa when we're all just like concentrated staring at the one. That irony is not lost on me. I don't know. Because believe it or not, like in movies, Mona Lisa looks so big, but she's actually very small. And I know when my mom saw it for the first time, she said that she was just shocked at how small it was. Then we moved to the rest of the Louvre, and I have to say, if there was one word to describe it, it would be overwhelming. This place is absolutely massive. There's over 400 rooms and 35,000 pieces of artwork on display. So yeah, it was a lot, and even the rooms themselves, like these ceilings, were blowing my mind. I especially enjoyed looking at all the different statues, and they better not get this video demonetized because there were a lot of naked people in those rooms. And I don't mean like a leaf covering things, like naked. There's more than paintings and sculptures too. There's jewelry, porcelain eggs, the crown jewels, and a ton of Egyptian stuff. The stuff from Egypt is super beautiful and interesting to look at. I kind of had a weird fascination with mummies as a child, so I was very into it. But I thought I was in France. Now, the Louvre has been around for a long time, and there is a very complicated story as to how it acquired all of its art pieces. Napoleon was involved. It was a whole thing. And honestly, I don't really know enough about it to say. But I do know that Egypt has asked for some of these artifacts back. So yeah, I think that should happen, personally. They also have Osiris's crypt, where there's a bunch of sarcophagi. And they have an actual mummy down there. So I did not film Osiris's crypt because that's just bad juju. So you didn't get to see it. But overall, I really loved the Louvre, and we checked our steps at that point in the day, and we were already at 13 miles. And the majority of that happened in the Louvre. So it's massive. I definitely want to go back, and maybe I'll do a tour next time so that I can have more guidance because I was very overwhelmed.
And action.
Oh my god. Oh
It's been
my
a
god.
really long day.
If you would have told me that getting from the Louvre to the Eiffel Tower.
And she just spilled a Red Bull.
That's my Red Bull?
Yeah. And cut. Okay, and that's a wrap.
Take two. If you would have told me that getting from the Louvre to the Eiffel Tower, which is supposed to be like a 45-minute walk, with the Olympics, guys, all of the streets are blocked off. We took a Uber about halfway, and he was like, okay, this is as far as I can get you. We walked another good chunk, like a mile and a half, and then we got stuck at a gate, and I basically had to sweet talk the security guard, police guy, giant machine gun on his hip, and I had to go up to him, and I was like, we're gonna miss our tour if you don't let us through this gate. And then he let us through.
Yeah, you did.
Right?
Good thing you're cute.
Isn't that what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, I just like asked him, and then I started crying over in the corner. And then he was like,
Come
fine.
on.
Yeah, so. I feel like I need a visual to help explain the situation better, but basically we were here. And we needed to get here to meet for our tour. And we got stopped right here, and this is where I had to talk to that guy, and I basically was like, okay, well, we need to literally go right there. I can almost see exactly where we need to be. He said, this all along the river is blocked off. This road through the middle of the park is also blocked off. This road could potentially be blocked off, but he wasn't sure. And then all of these little tiny roads throughout the park were blocked off. So that's when I was like, okay. I walked over to the corner and I just started panicking because we were literally going to be late if we had to walk all the way around this park. And that's when he was super nice and was like, fine, we'll let you through. So the policeman let us through and we got to go like through backstage of the Olympics. I was gonna film it, but like a bunch of cops were watching us.
Big guns.
With big guns. So we basically got to go like behind
The scenes.
behind the scenes of the Olympics, which was really cool.
It was really cool.
Oh, this is my second Red Bull of the day. I'm not proud. I'm running on fumes. Also, we walked 8 miles in the Louvre today and barely even scratched the surface. I think we went to like one tiny little section of it and it was 8 miles. We're tired.
We're delirious.
I'm not complaining, like I had a
No, it
great
was
time,
great.
but
It was
I am
great, but-
delirious. I am 100% hallucinating right now.
And they didn't have any food in there.
Yeah, and as we were trying to get food, everything was closing down. And then I wanted to walk to the gardens, and they were like, no. And then we tried to walk over here, and they're like, no. And then they keep putting up barricades. There we're going. And none of us are really afraid of heights, but when we were standing underneath the Eiffel Tower, I started getting a little bit nervous. It looks a lot bigger now that we're right underneath it.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Also, they pack a bunch of people into the elevator, so that made me feel some sort of way.
Wayne, how are you feeling? Okay.
That sound wasn't great.
That's awesome. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go up to the second.
And we really did time this perfectly because by the time we were getting up to the second floor, the sun was setting. So we got to kind of see the daylight version. And by the time we got up to the summit, we got to see the nighttime. It was awesome. And the tower itself stays lit up till about midnight, but the sparkling effect only happens for 5 minutes every hour. So we were really lucky that we were out on the deck when it happened.
Are you scared to go to the top?
Yeah.
Not everybody goes to the summit, but we really, really wanted to. So that is what we signed up for.
I'm terrified. I'm
Good. Oh my gosh. Now, because we were there during the Olympics, we saw some pretty unique stuff. There was the opening ceremony stage, as well as a couple of arenas all lit up. And eventually we even saw them practicing something where they had all their flags out and they were walking across the stage. It was so awesome.
Yes, I'm gonna pee myself. This is awesome.
Then we headed back down to where they have a couple of restaurants, and because bathrooms were so hard to find while we were there, I was not gonna miss this opportunity to use one and to also pee on the Eiffel Tower. So we made a quick pit stop before walking back to our hotel that we could finally check into.
What's this?
And guys, that is a wrap on our trip to Paris. It was one of the longest days of my life, one of the most special, I will never forget. Next, we're headed to Ireland, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!